good, YouTube, man? We back with another reaction video. We about to react to making the case video. This is not about the player. This is about a certain player. You know how you be making them about individual players. I just did the not the Larry Bird, the 1986 Boston Celtics making the case. He was breaking down their case of if they can be considered as one of the greatest teams ever. And it was a really good breakdown. So I think he only got 2 of them out, and this is the second one I'm about to react to. This is 2001 Lakers. I'm a real big Laker fan, so I expect all my Laker fans, all my Kobe fans, no matter Magic Johnson, Kareem, no matter what, Wilt Chamberlain, George Mikan, it don't matter. I need all my Laker fans tapped in, man. Liking this video, commenting, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Drop y'all comments, man. Drop y'all thoughts and shit, because I be wanting to know how y'all feel about certain topics and stuff like that. Like, who is y'all the best team that y'all ever seen play? Like, stuff like that. Since we on that topic and stuff, I be wanting y'all to drop comments and stuff like that. So, man, y'all know what to do. I'm about to hop right into it. I'm gonna drop the donation links in the description box. So I appreciate everybody that's been donating, subscribing to supporting the channel. Very well appreciated. Run this video up for me. My Laker fans, tap in. Y'all know what to do, man. Let's get it.
What's the goal of basketball? To win, right? But not just to win individual games. The ultimate goal is to win a championship. Of course, basketball is a team sport. Championships are won by the most complete, most inspired team. Every champion deserves credit, but the question on my mind is, who's the greatest team of all time? With apologies to Bill and Wilt, I have a list of 8 teams since 1970 that I want to look at as having a claim to that distinction. It is a loaded question, and one that I ultimately can't answer. Is it the teams that were front runners from beginning to end? The ones who were unbeatable at their peak? Maybe the ones who tapped into something special and overcame countless obstacles? There is no right answer. It's your job to make your own call. And it's my job to make the case. So today, I'll be making the case for the 2001 Los Angeles Lakers as the greatest basketball team of all time. Here's what you need to know right away. The Lakers went 56-26 in the regular season and 15-1 in the playoffs. They were captained by Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, rounded out their roster with several fantastic two-way players, and were coached by Phil Jackson.
The Zen Master.
Uh-oh. Did you hear that? I'm in trouble, because that was the sound of a very big red flag going up. 56-26? That's the record of a pretty good team. Not the record of a team in contention for the greatest team of all time.
Right.
Over the last 40 years, excluding lockout seasons, only 3 other champions won fewer regular season games. We're like 2 minutes into the video, and I already have my work cut out for me. What the hell happened, and how on earth is this team even in this conversation? What the hell happened? The short answer is a lack of identity, poor defensive discipline, complacency, injuries, and the most famous power struggle between 2 teammates in league history.
2 alpha males.
How are they in this conversation? The short answer is because Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal represent the best, most unguardable, unstoppable, unbeatable 1-2 combination in the history of the NBA.
Easy.
The long answer is all of that, except, you know, I talk about it more. First, let's frame this team. This Lakers team was smack dab in the middle of what would end up being 3 consecutive championship seasons, a feat no other franchise has been able to accomplish since. In 2000, the Lakers won 67 regular season games on their way to their first championship since 1988. Shaq was 1 vote away from being named the first unanimous regular season MVP and added the finals MVP at the end of the year to cap off his ascension to basketball's throne. Kobe, at age 21, was already emerging as one of the premier perimeter players in the game. His well-rounded skill set and approach to the game made him the consensus heir apparent to none other than Michael Jordan. He was a critical part of the team's makeup and was already on the fast track to basketball immortality. Following the championship, Shaq took time to rehab and rest his body at Phil Jackson's direction. And, in what should come as no surprise to anyone in hindsight, Kobe conversely spent countless hours in the gym, honing his skills, determined to fulfill his own goals of hoops supremacy. By the time the team reconvened for training camp, tensions immediately arose between the two superstars and their different approaches to the offseason. Kobe was frustrated seeing Shaq return out of shape after just having had the best season of his career, while Shaq was frustrated with the young shooting guard presuming to be in a position to criticize him following a championship season. And it makes sense from both sides. On the one hand, you have Kobe, the patron saint of the perfectionist and determined, someone for whom effort and diligence was second nature. He had just labored all summer because he was coming into his own and was ready to assume the mantle of superstar. Why wouldn't he be frustrated seeing someone fail to meet his own tenacious work ethic, let alone his partner in crime, the reigning league and finals MVP? On the other hand, imagine the situation from Shaq's perspective. Here's a guy who was 7'1" and 320 pounds of speed, power, touch, nimbleness,
the most
and
dominant big, and he was in his prime.
He was truly an anomaly of human anatomy. He'd been the best and biggest guy on every team he'd ever played on, forged against the Hakeems and the Ewings and the Robinsons. He'd been exerting himself and taking a physical toll for years, and he finally had a ring to show for it. Why wouldn't he take some well-deserved time off? He'd earned it, and if you believe Phil, he did what he was told to do. And now he comes back, and this youngster is telling him that he should be working harder? Throughout the season, these disparate attitudes failed to consistently produce wins on the court. You hear all the time about the alpha dog trope that a pair of great teammates face. From Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West, to LeBron and Dwayne Wade, to Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. These chance pairings always come with the baggage of who's in charge here.
1-2 punch ever.
Who's the one who's supposed to get the
most
last
unstoppable, I'll say.
Whose team is it? And this team took that trope to new levels. Kobe had developed into perhaps the league's most complete player and was eager to prove that
he's the most elite, complete player in the league.
The player leading the Los Angeles Lakers.
Facts.
At the same time, some of the warts of Kobe's hero ball tendencies came to light as he truly believed that the team was in the best position to succeed when he was the one with the ball in his hand taking the most shots. Shaq.
You're doing these little ads and shit.
Of course, resented the fact that coming off the heels of his most successful season, he was already being challenged by his young teammate. The rest of the team, meanwhile, was caught in this maelstrom of egos, unable to find a play style or approach that could appease both stars and produce winning results. Even Phil Jackson, who would retire as the most decorated basketball coach to ever live, struggled to amicably settle the dispute. Jackson, long known
there was two alpha males, you feel me?
For his philosophical and
one of them was gonna have to go sooner or later.
Couldn't find a way to foster the same synergy that the Lakers had ridden to a championship just months prior. Jackson believed that the success of the team is predicated on the sacrifice of the individual. It's a trite cliche for organizations to talk about a team-first philosophy, but it's an idea rooted in truth. To galvanize this team, Kobe would have to accept that despite his tremendous abilities as an individual, this team couldn't reach its full potential if he took every shot. At the same time, Shaq needed to accept that Kobe was ready to be a more integral part of this team, which would indeed merit him more credit in their victories.
Exactly.
As the season continued, this rift only grew deeper. The two were constantly at odds on the court and trading barbs through the media off of it. Through sheer talent, the team was still competitive in most of their games and near the top of the standings, but it seemed to many that they were on a collision course of self-destruction. In fact, it soon became a foregone conclusion to many members of the media that a trade was inevitable, that the feud was irreparable, and that the Lakers were better off cutting bait and acquiring assets for one of their stars. You would hear quotes
I miss
from
these
Bryant
days,
saying,
man.
Turn my game down.
Daycare, bro.
I need to turn it up. I've improved. How are you going to bottle me up? I'd be better off playing someplace else. You'd hear Shaq say something like,
when everything went through me, the outcome was good.
That's crazy. Like
15 playing with enthusiasm.
they just needed to
Jumping up and down, had a break.
learn how to play together, bro. I mean, not to play together, but just to coexist. You know what I'm saying? Without the media and shit. You feel
And
me?
because of this
'Cause
draining
on the
situation
court, it was
in the
A1.
locker room, LA simply
You wouldn't
wouldn't
even-
put
you wouldn't
the
even think
effort
they was
in on
beefing.
most nights to effectively defend, leading to one of the worst defenses in the league. Shaq also presented a problem with his notoriously poor free throw shooting. Shooting just 51% from the stripe, Shaq was the major culprit in making the Lakers the worst free throw shooting team in the league. On top of it all, Shaq and Kobe combined to miss 22 games, Ron Harper missed substantial time due to knee injury, and, perhaps most importantly, Derek Fisher missed the first 62 games of the
Young
season
D
with a
Fish.
broken foot. Derek Fisher, the team's backup point guard, who hadn't started a single playoff game the year prior, returned to the court on March 13th,
Missed
and
them
with
days,
him
man.
brought the Thunder back to Los Angeles. Instantly inserted into the starting lineup, Fisher came back with a hot hand, which helped space the floor for other shooters, and most importantly for Shaq. He brought a new defensive energy that would eventually encourage the team and shore up their biggest weakness.
Like outside of Kobe and
most
Shaq, nobody
importantly,
could really get
he
their
brought
own shot for
stability.
real. Like,
By the time he retired,
take over.
Derek Fisher had set the record for most playoff games played in an NBA career. What's more, Derek Fisher was never the most important player or top
Fish.
scorer on any of those teams. That's just not what he brought to the table.
definitely got some
But
legendary
it's
moments.
no mistake that he found himself on so many playoff teams in so many playoff games. Teams were, almost without exception, better with Derek Fisher on the roster. He had a feel for the game that went beyond makes and misses. When and how to feed Shaq. When and why to let Kobe operate. And when and how to get the ball to the rest of the Lakers and make this group of talented players a team. In the 20 regular season games that Fisher played, the Lakers went 15-5 and finished the regular
15-5.
season with an 8-game win streak, their longest all season. And in this late season confluence of events, the final piece fell into place. As Fisher returned from injury, Kobe fell victim to it. He missed 11 of the team's last 21 games. And in those games, the Lakers went 8-3. During that time on the bench, Kobe saw the success that the team was having without him, one of the best players in all of basketball. With Fisher at the helm, the Lakers flowed on offense and seemed energized on defense. You wouldn't say that they were better without Kobe, but they were playing their best basketball of the season without him. If I had to guess, I would venture to say that at some point, maybe not overtly, maybe not all at once.
I mean,
but
of
at
course
some
it's gonna be
point,
different. You feel
Kobe
me?
and
If
Shaq
we can
decided
just,
to meet each
we got
other
all
halfway.
role players and we just
By
dumping
now,
into
it
Shaq.
was clear
You feel
that
me?
the
Because when
worst thing
Shaq
about
used to
the
sit
team
out, we
was
used to
the
win our games
relationship
too.
between these two.
But it just when both of them on the floor, it's gonna be different.
But it was also obvious that the best thing about this team was these two. Remember this?
Legendary moment right there.
Somehow, they struck some kind of accord. Kobe would take a small step back, but Shaq would concede some of the spotlight. Kobe didn't resign to be Robin. Instead, he would be the Batman to Shaq's Superman. I told you it was a long story. Somehow, despite their underwhelming record and their foibles and their squabbling, they were better. They'd evolved. Shaq had played himself into shape and was bringing the pain every night.
Facts.
Kobe had improved in nearly every aspect of his game.
Kobe was
They had the
developing every
swagger
year.
of a winner and the confidence of a champion. They were better than everybody by a ludicrous margin. In all of their playoff games in the Western Conference, they did not lose. Not one game.
It's crazy.
3
We ran straight through the
sweeps,
West.
11 straight wins to go back to the finals. The combination of Shaq and Kobe was apocryphal for other teams.
Bro, I
In
miss
back-to-back
these
games
days,
against the
man.
Kings, Shaq put up 44,
21, and
43
7.
points
Shit.
to take a 2-0 lead. Kobe then took center stage and put up 36 and 48 points to put Sacramento on
Dude,
ice.
you got
And that's the
36
way
and
it went
48.
throughout the playoffs.
Then Shaq went for
They
40
beat
the
the
first two
Spurs,
games, and
who had
Kobe
home
went for
court
36
and
and
the
48.
best record in the league by 14, 7, 39, and 29 points, respectively.
Respectfully,
It
man.
was an absolute thrashing. Kobe had his best series thus far and helped send the Lakers to their second
He
consecutive
had his best
finals.
series, bro.
Chick
And that was
Hearn,
against the Spurs. The
quintessential
Spurs,
Lakers
the
play-by-play
Spurs are the
broadcaster
Sixers.
since 1961, who coined terms like slam dunk, air ball, and triple double, said this.
There's no team in Laker history ever played at a
Kobe.
higher
The
level
King series used to be crazy.
than this team is doing.
That's that one. Oh my God,
Matched
Shaq.
up against league MVP Allen Iverson's Philadelphia
That's Kobe
76ers
famous
in
one
the
when he
finals.
like
The Lakers
against the
stumbled
Spurs,
for
no,
their
against the
first
Kings,
and
I mean.
only time, thanks to
AI.
Iverson's heroic
Killer, Bubba
performance
Chuck.
in Game 1. The Lakers responded
Dropped 48
with
on
4
our shit.
consecutive wins to capture their second title in as many years. It wasn't a super dramatic conclusion. Even though some of the games were
Damn, AI was
close,
a
it ended
motherfucker.
up being a 5-game series. But sometimes, being the best isn't about the dramatic 7-game thrillers or the narrow victories. Sometimes it's just about kicking ass. And the Lakers
good
kicked
pass,
some
boy.
ass. They went 15-1 through the playoffs, as close to a clean sweep as any team has ever gotten.
I wish we would
They
have got
faced
that.
stiff
Never lost
competition,
to Philly.
becoming just the second team in history to defeat 4 straight 50-win teams. And they posted the highest net rating of any postseason
Pass.
team ever. How? Because they had Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal playing together at the same time on the same team. I don't feel like I've talked enough about what it meant to have 2001 Shaq. With a 7'7" wingspan, he was the most physically dominant player to ever step onto a basketball
For sure.
court outside of a Wilt Chamberlain.
For sure.
The guy literally changed the way they make NBA baskets.
So why would like Kobe try to
In
shoot
the
all the
finals
jumps, like
against
take all the
Dikembe
shots when we
Mutombo,
got
who had just won
Shaq in
his
his
4th
prime?
Defensive Player of the Year award, Shaq put up the spectacular stat line of 33 points, 15.8 rebounds, 4.8 assists, and 3.4 blocks, en route to his second straight Finals MVP award. He had soft touch on his jump hooks, underrated abilities as a passer, the explosiveness to go over any defender, and the maneuverability to get around any player his size.
That boy was so cold with it.
He was
Should I do a
Bill Russell
Shaq reaction?
or Hakeem Olajuwon, but he was good enough to be a second-team all-defensive selection and loomed as one of basketball's most intimidating forces in the paint. He was the linchpin
The
to this
Diesel.
Lakers dynasty. Since its inception in 1969, 2 players have won 3 consecutive Finals MVP awards. One is Michael Jordan. The other is Shaquille O'Neal. Few players in this game's history have come close to matching the level of peak Shaquille O'Neal. Think you can stop him? Well,
Superman.
then have fun guarding Kobe Bryant.
Right.
You know,
have
the
fun.
closest thing to Michael Jordan that there's ever been.
Have
In
fun.
2001, Kobe hadn't yet extended his range effectively beyond the three-point arc. But he was still one of the best shot makers in the business. He had
sure.
flawless body control, the ability to shower you with an array of shots from damn
That's
near
tough,
anywhere,
bro.
a ceaseless motor on both ends of the court, and world-class athleticism.
I was sick right there.
He was scintillating in the playoffs and averaged 29, 7, and 6, leading the Lakers in postseason passing. So,
Cold, man.
can you stop Shaq? Can you stop Kobe? Can you stop them both? Probably not. But even if you can, you now have to contend with a fantasy roster full of two-way beasts. You've got Derek Fisher, a double-digit scorer, offensive maestro, and defensive pest. Rick Fox, who also averaged in the double digits, shot 39% from 3 in the
Great
regular
role player.
season, and who was capable of locking down top scorers like Peja
Peja.
Stojakovic.
Peja was a
Plus,
Peja
top
was a
shelf
motherfucker,
playoff
man.
veterans like Ron
Y'all young
Harper,
cats don't know
Horace
about them
Grant,
days, man.
Brian
With Doug
Shaw,
Christie and Bobby
the
Jackson.
X-factor of every team he's ever been on, Robert Horry.
Big shot
With
Bob.
those players, could the Lakers have played today? With a couple of tweaks,
D
absolutely.
Fish, I love his form.
If the three-point shot rules the day, they
Love
can
D
keep
Fish
up.
form.
In the playoffs, the Lakers shot the exact same percentage from 3 that the 2017 Warriors shot. They
But
have
we
the
but we
perfect
don't shoot as
swing men
many
to switch on
threes, though. That's the
defense
difference.
And enough
They
star
shoot
power
more
to
threes
compete
now.
with any team that's come since. I mean, man, wouldn't you love to see a team try to play small ball against Shaq?
Right, right,
I mean,
right.
it's really that simple. You can't stop Shaq, and even if you could,
Look, Ty
how
McCullough.
many
He
other
had Ty
teams
McCullough
in
guarding,
history
bro.
can tote out another first ballot, first teamer, all-timer, two-way dynamo in their athletic prime as the sidekick?
That's bounce.
They're the best 1-2 punch to ever play on the same team at the same time.
Facts.
So, let's say you focus all your attention and energy neutralizing
This
the two
is probably
of them.
like my favorite Laker
Stop
era.
all of those role players.
I don't know. It's out of
And you think you
2009,
can do it all
2010,
while
and
out-coaching Phil
2000s,
Jackson? Pick
early
your poison.
2000s.
It doesn't matter what you decide. You're not making it out of there alive. They weren't the best start-to-finish team ever. If that's your thing, your 1972 Dolphins jersey is in the mail. But when they were at their best, when it came time to win,
When it mattered
stakes
most.
on the table, you could not beat this team.
Exactly.
They were too good at too many things from top to bottom.
And we lost to the Pistons
Other
just on
pairings
some
won more championships together.
stubborn bullshit.
Other
Weird
teammates
shit.
dominated their eras for longer periods of time.
Real Laker
But I
fan though.
maintain that no
My
two
Laker
teams
fans, y'all better
has
tap
an
into this
overall
video.
pairing of destructive forces at both ends of the court.
Cause I want to hear y'all comments. Like, what's your favorite moment, like, as a Laker fan?
2001. The Venn diagram of these two talents overlapped in a way and on a level that has no equal. And that's the enduring legacy of this Lakers team. The yin and yang of conflict and victory. You're gonna get the squabbling and the feuding and the power struggle. It's a byproduct of their talent and of how different these two men were on so many levels.
Kobe.
But they realized time and time again that theirs was an unstoppable partnership. They
Too
put
cold,
the pettiness
man.
aside, bought into the team and to each
I
other.
wish I could have went to a
and
game,
won
man, like around this
over
time.
and over and over again. They didn't win 7 championships.
Any of my
together.
subscribers, have y'all ever went to a Kobe and
They
Shaq game?
ushered in
Man, let
a
me
new
know.
Lakers
Drop it in the
dynasty.
comments.
The most unstoppable duo ever, and in 2001, the greatest basketball team of all time.
I agree. I think we'd beat any team for real. I ain't gonna say we had the best seasons or nothing like that, but definitely best playoffs and stuff like that, man. All my Laker fans tap in. All my Laker fans drop some comments, man. I want to know if y'all ever been to a Kobe and Shaq game, man. Let me know, man. That's crazy to me if y'all have. I want to know what's your favorite Laker moment. I want to know what's your favorite Laker like era, like early 2000s, now 80s. When we won back-to-back titles, you know what I'm saying? When Kobe, well, don't know Laker fan like that time around 06 when we had like Chris Mim and Smush Parker and shit. Don't know Laker. Every Laker fan hate that. But it was just good fun watching Kobe around that time, man. But yeah, man, that was a reaction to that. If y'all agree with that, man, let me know. I think that's my favorite. That's my favorite team of all time, flat out. And so I'm gonna be biased and say that's the best team ever. But let me know, man. Drop your comments, man, in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel, man. Answer all the questions I just asked. I want to know how y'all feel about the video and how y'all feel about like your opinion on who the best team ever. You know what I'm saying? Basically. So make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. Like this video. Comment. All my Laker fans, make sure y'all tap in, man. Y'all see I got the Laker poster up there. I got my Kobe poster behind me, man. I'm a Rams fan also. Big Rams fan also. So make sure y'all tap in, man. Support the channel. I'm gonna drop the donation links in the description box. Everybody that's been supporting and donating, appreciate y'all, man. Stay tuned, stay tapped in, stay safe, man, and we out.
Great.